Okay, let's unpack this. Gradient index lenses. Sounds like something out of a futuristic movie, right?
Hey, yeah, a little bit.
These aren't your typical curved glass lenses. Instead, they focus light by gradually changing their refractive index within the material itself. Allows for flatter, lighter, often more efficient optical designs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A really different approach to bending light.
And the market for these, incredible optical components is already here. And it's booming.
It really is.
So today, we're diving deep into the global gradient index lens market forecast, looking at 2021 all the way out to 2033.
Yep, a good stretch of time.
Our mission really is to get past just the raw numbers. We've got a stack of market research reports here full of figures, projections.
All about data points.
Right. And we want to pull out the key trends, see which regions are really performing, and figure out what these numbers truly signify for optical tech's future. Give you that shortcut to being informed.
And maybe find a few surprises along the way.
Hopefully. So let's start with that big picture, the global overview. In 2021, the market revenue was, let's see, 1,043.36 million.
Okay, so just over $1 billion to start.
Yeah. And looking ahead to 2033, that's forecasted to hit a massive 2,450.05 million.
Well, so more than doubling.
Exactly. This means a robust global compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 7.373% over this whole period. It's more than just a steady climb.
Right. And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is not just that consistent upward trend, but what that 7.373% CAGR suggests.
What's behind it?
Exactly. It points to the underlying innovation, the adoption of this tech across, various industries. This isn't just incremental growth. It feels like a significant expansion.
So moving beyond niche applications.
Precisely. It suggests these lenses are moving from being super specialized to being more widely integrated, maybe in everyday tech industrial processes.
Okay, that makes sense.
So whether you're deep in optics, just curious about cutting-edge tech, or maybe you love tracking market shifts, this deep dive should have something for you.
We're going to try and show not just the what, but the why behind these trends.
Let's do it.
Great. That really helps frame the whole market. Now, let's zoom in, like you said, on the different regions. Because the growth story, it isn't uniform everywhere, is it?
Not at all. That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, first up, North America seems to provide a really solid foundation for this market. In 2021, North America was valued at $415.257 million.
A big chunk of the global total then.
Yeah. And it's projected to more than double, reaching $938.123 million by 2033. That's a healthy CAGR of 6.929%.
Solid, respectable growth.
And within North America, the U.S. is, well, as you'd expect, the dominant force, takes the lion's share. It's forecast to nearly double from $336.358 million in 2021 to $746.296 million by 2033.
Sorry.
Its CAGR is about 6.705%.
But here's where the nuance comes in, right? While the U.S. is the largest market, Canada actually shows slightly stronger growth.
Really? Despite smaller base?
Yeah, an 8.031% CAGR. The market research, it points to Canada's strong photonics sector really boosting that,
Oh.
particularly in areas like quantum computing, advanced microscopy,
Yeah?
places that really need these sophisticated optics.
So high-tech niche is driving faster growth.
Seems like it. And Mexico's contributing robustly, too. CAGR of 7.497%. So, yeah, the U.S. drives the volume, but
Yep.
Canada might show more accelerated adoption in certain specialized areas.
That's a great point, volume versus velocity. Okay, let's pivot to Europe. Here, the story feels less like one single trend and more like a mosaic of different national performances.
Definitely more variation there.
Overall, Europe's market was $300.487 million in 2021, projected to hit $685.768 million by 2033. The CAGR is 7.047%, pretty close to the global average.
Right.
Within that, you've got major economies like Germany and the UK showing solid, steady growth around that 6% CAGR mark. Reflects their mature industrial bases, I suppose.
Makes sense. Stable, but maybe not explosive.
But it's France that really stands out a bit more. A stronger CAGR getting close to 7.856%, so indicating particularly dynamic expansion there.
Okay, France is notable. But what's perhaps even more noteworthy, maybe a bit surprising from the reports,
Yeah.
is the rest of Europe category. It actually has the region's highest HAR at 8.524%.
Huh. So not just a leftover bucket.
Not at all.
Mm.
It suggests significant growth, but it's dispersed, happening outside those traditional big economies.
Interesting. What could be driving that?
Well, it could indicate smaller, maybe specialized industries across a wider part of Europe are integrating this tech,
Hmm.
perhaps driven by innovative startups or, targeted regional investments in things like medical diagnostics, specialized
So
sensors.
adoption isn't just in the big tech hubs.
Exactly. It's a clear sign things are spreading out.
That observation about dispersed growth is key, yeah. Challenges that idea of innovation only happening in a few spots.
Hmm.
And speaking of dynamic growth, let's move to Asia Pacific, truly a powerhouse region for these lenses.
Absolutely. The numbers here are impressive.
The market was $196.151 million back in 2021, projected to surge to $494.175 million by 2033. That's an overall ski AGR of 8.185%.
Higher than the global average, definitely a growth engine.
Within Asia Pacific, China and Japan, they still dominate in sheer market size, showing strong growth around 7.7% CAGR, driven by, vast manufacturing, established tech
The
sectors.
giants are still growing steadily.
But the real velocity, that dynamic acceleration in this region, seems to be in India and Singapore.
That's what jumps out, yes.
India is forecasted to have the fastest CAGR in the region, a remarkable 8.999%.
Nearly 9%.
And Singapore's not far behind at 8.759%.
Right. And what truly grabs your attention here are those figures for India and Singapore. The sources suggest India's near 9% CAGR is fueled by, well, massive government pushes in digital infrastructure,
Okay.
plus a rapidly expanding consumer electronics and automotive sector that's increasingly adopting advanced optics.
And Singapore.
Singapore's growth, on the other hand, it points more to its role as a critical innovation hub. Focus on high-value manufacturing, especially things like medical devices, smart sensor tech.
Things that use GI lenses for miniaturization and performance.
Exactly. So it's not just about market size here. It's about that dynamic acceleration driven by specific tech adoption and sophisticated manufacturing needs.
A really clear picture of targeted growth drivers there. And that theme, that dynamic acceleration, it seems to continue as we shift to South America, a region that's rapidly catching up, shows incredible potential.
Yeah, another region with a very strong growth profile.
The gradient index lens market there was $71.992 million in 2021, expected to grow to $184.489 million by 2033. That's an impressive overall CAGR of 8.338%.
Very strong, beating the global average again.
Looking closer, Brazil, being a major economy, obviously contributes a lot to the overall size.
Right, the anchor market.
But it's Argentina that really stands out with particularly sharp growth, an 8.88% CAGR.
Wow, close to India's rate.
Yeah. And other countries like Colombia, Peru, Chile, they're also adding to the strong regional momentum, generally seeing KGRs in the, high 7% range.
So if we connect this back to the bigger picture, South America's overall 8.338% KGR really shows a strong emerging market trend, rapid technological integration.
And Argentina leading the charge.
Argentina notably leading. The sources suggest this might be driven by rising investment in renewable energy infrastructure and precision agriculture.
Specific sectors finding uses for GI lenses?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Things like monitoring and control systems in those fields. And the rest of South America category also backs this up, showing a collective KDR of 8.707%. It signals widespread, accelerating activity across the continent.
It's fascinating seeing how specific industry needs shape these regional pictures. Okay, moving on, Middle East. Here we see more, let's say, steady, measured growth.
A different pace, yes.
The market there was valued at $33.805 million in 2021, projected to reach $67.131 million by 2033. The CAGR is 5.644%.
Okay, solid, but noticeably lower than, say, APAC or South America.
Right. In terms of individual nations, Saudi Arabia remains the largest market regionally, steady growth rate, but the UAE shows the strongest growth here, CAGR of 6.865%.
Interesting lead for the UAE there.
Yeah. And countries like Turkey, Egypt, Qatar also contribute, consistent but slightly lower PGRs.
So the Middle East's consistent growth, while maybe not as explosive, it still signifies a developing market for these lenses, right?
Seems so.
The data suggests this growth is likely tied to specific, maybe long-term infrastructure projects, telecommunications perhaps,
That makes sense.
and also an expanding healthcare sector, particularly in the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Think endoscopic equipment, diagnostic tools using these lenses.
Right, specialized applications again.
And the rest of the Middle East also contributes reasonably well, KBR of 5.782%, indicating broad, if measured, regional adoption.
Okay, and now, for a real standout, here's where it gets really interesting. Africa.
Yes, the big one in terms of growth rate.
This region isn't just growing, it feels like it's surging. Africa is truly the fastest growing frontier in this market.
The numbers are quite striking.
In 2021, the market was $25.667 million. Small base, yes, but it's forecast to rise to $80.362 million by 2033, reflecting an absolutely impressive KG of 10.431%.
Over 10%. That's the highest globally, by a fair margin.
It really is. And within Africa, both Nigeria and South Africa are significant players here, each showing KGRs over 10%. They're playing a major role in this surge.
Yeah, that incredible rate of adoption, that market expansion, it truly stands out. Our research points to Africa's explosive growth being largely a leapfrogging story.
Leapfrogging, how
Now,
so?
you see massive investments in new fiber optic networks, expanding digital connectivity. They're often bypassing older tech and
Okay.
directly integrating advanced components like GI lenses.
Straight to the newer stuff.
Exactly. Plus, there's a rapidly scaling, though nascent, local manufacturing sector for tech components, consumer electronics, surveillance. They're adopting these advanced optics directly, not bothering with legacy solutions.
Fascinating. So it's about getting in early with the best tech available.
Pretty much. And the rest of Africa actually leads the region with an even higher CAGR, 10.796%.
Wow.
It really underscores that this dynamic isn't just in the biggest economies. It feels like a continent-wide technological acceleration.
Wow, what a journey through the gradient index lens market. So what does this all mean for you, listening in?
Let's try and wrap it up.
We've seen a global market on a strong upward path. Established regions like North America, Europe, they're maintaining significant revenues, steady growth.
The foundations are solid.
But the real story, the kind of aha moment for me, is that incredible acceleration in Asia Pacific, South America, and especially Africa,
Yeah,
which isn't just leading the pack in growth rates, but doing so with, as we discussed, really distinct identifiable drivers behind that growth.
exactly. And knowledge is most valuable when you understand and apply it, right?
Yeah.
This data, it clearly shows a shift in market momentum towards developing economies.
Definitely.
It highlights areas where there's rapid tech integration, increasing demand. It encourages critical thinking about where the next big innovations, the next market transformations might come from.
Right. It's not always the biggest existing markets.
Often it's where specific needs meet new tech for the first time. That fastest growth really signals emerging needs and fresh approaches.
Absolutely. So as you think about this deep dive, maybe consider how these trends in gradient index lenses might influence other emerging tech or even, global economic shifts.
Good question to ponder.
What implications do you see in these really diverse growth patterns? Not just for the tech industry, but maybe for society at large as these advanced optical bits become more common across the globe.
Lots to think about there.
It is. It's a lot to ponder. And the future of gradient index lenses look incredibly bright.